is the gimmick and wins. From beginning to end, no gimmick. If I rep it, dude, I live it then. And you can't do it, so ain't no need for mimicking. I'm not innocent, I'm on a mission, so let me finish it. Time before they summon the army in. I'm probably on the FBI's most wanted list. I'm probably going to hung like an ornament. I'm on a life mission to abolish all the government.
Look around and tell me what you think, because it's coming down, are you listening? Stop and look, this is what I mean. Yeah, it's going down, it's going down. Open your eyes, the state you're in is a state of mind. Freedom disguised, the state you're in is a state of mind.
What's up? What's up? How's it going, everybody? It's been a while, and when I say a while, I mean a while. It has been, I believe, 5 months, I think, since we've done the last one. It was May 23rd when I did the last podcast here of the Liberty Hour, so it has been 4 months now, and I finally decided I'm going to get back on and do this again, and I need to do this more. I just need to find more people to get on this so that I can do these more often because I enjoy them. It's just that, obviously, sometimes I'm busy with life, and sometimes I lose motivation to want to do it, but I'm very happy that I'm back here. Once again, got a lot of stuff I'm going to be going over this evening. I know this is a little bit of a later edition if you have tuned in for these before. I usually do them a little earlier in the day. This is the late night drive-through edition of the Liberty Hour, and I am here with my good friend Ricardo Navarrete once again. I'm going to be having another one of my friends, Michael Kokkonen, on here in a few minutes. But how you doing, Ricky? How's it been going, man?
All right, hello, can you hear me? Is it working?
I can hear you, sir.
All right, bro. Well, you already know it's going. School sucks. We're back. Back on that grind. Nothing's changed since the last time, since 5 months ago.
The funny thing, the thing I find really funny about, like when I did the last one, and then when I did this one. So the last one I did pretty much right after finals week, and now I've done this one almost right in the beginning of the new semester. Although what I will say that's really interesting is, even though I say the beginning of the semester, we're already more than a quarter of the way through. Can you believe that? More than a quarter of the way through.
Wait, we're already a quarter of the way. Wait, how many semesters? Is it semesters? How many weeks? Is it 15 or 16?
Well, 15 and then finals week, and usually finals week you only have to go like one day for the most part. And dude, yeah, so think about it. We're already at least a quarter of the way through. It's insane.
Dang, dude, I did not realize that. Well, put it that way.
The end of next week will be a third of the way through. It's pretty crazy, but we're back here once again, and let's see. I'm trying to think what has changed ever since the last show. I mean, a lot has changed, but
Yo, since the last show, have you sent out emails to people saying you're live on Spreaker? Because I just got a Gmail saying A2 Jack is live on Spreaker right now.
No, I have not. But thank you.
I did not know that was a thing.
Thank you, Spreaker, for doing so. And once again, for everybody who is tuning in, if you haven't tuned in before, or you may have forgotten, these will be going in 15-minute parts through Spreaker Studio. So at the end of the 15-minute part, we will go into the next part. So just stay tuned on the Spreaker account on the website. Again, I will do my best to try to end conversations before the part ends so that you guys don't have to be interrupted as well, and same with my guests. Yeah, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into some stuff here. One of the first things I was going to talk about was, unfortunately, as much as I like Dimple Records, it's a really cheap, nice, affordable way to get music, and get, DVDs and everything like that. It is going to be shutting down its doors September 27th, and 8 days from now. They have been around for decades upon decades, and we've gone there the last month or two or so because they've had a lot, obviously, better deals since they're closing down, up to 80 to 90% off stuff. But overall, even without all the deals, it was still a very nice, nostalgic place to go, I would say. And the question that I have for you, Ricky, is first off, what are your thoughts on Dimple shutting down, and do you believe record stores will ever make a return in the future?
Dude, I'll be honest. I was like never like crazy over record stores or music stores or anything because I just, you know, like to get music without buying it, but I won't, explain how I get my music without buying it so I don't get in trouble here live on air. But yeah, I'm like, but I don't know. But like ever since we started going to Dimple, dude, it's cool. Like you can definitely tell. I don't know if this is gonna come off offensive. Like what kind of people shop at record stores because they talk and look way differently than what I'm used to. But I don't know, dude, it was cool. Like going to Dimple, there was some like older CDs, some older electronic CDs like I'd never hear about that nobody ever plays about, nobody would ever DJ to, and like it kind of reminded me of like of KSSU's bookshelves and stuff. But there was actually some pretty sweet finds in there and whatnot. But like, okay, I'm going off a tangent now. But what's it called? What was your question about the record store?
Do you believe that? Do you believe they will ever make a return in the future, and why or why not?
Yeah, dude, I do think in the future we'll likely see records come back because it actually wasn't too long ago, dude, that I swear there was like a whole like vinyl resurgence. Is that the right word? I think that's the right word, right? Like, cause
Well, I mean, Target has a lot of them. I've noticed and stuff. So I think that's a fair
no,
statement.
Target has a lot, and I remember at one point, like I want to say towards the end of last year too, like I noticed a bunch of places like Target, Walmart, Costco, Ross, I think too. They all started selling like record players and stuff too. Like they even have like new like LED light up red, green, blue record players. It wasn't just the old school ones. There were portable ones, and then they were the, like light up ones by brands like Pioneer and stuff like that. So I noticed like they were making a comeback, which is the whole reason I started going to Dimple in the first place because I thought it'd be cool if I could find a record player for cheap. I'm like, oh, maybe I can go to a record place that has been around for a while. They probably got some super cheaper records at this point and whatnot. I just never found myself to buy one. I ended up getting Chatter one though for his birthday, fun fact. And then like he got some records and whatnot too, I think. But yeah, dude, I definitely think they'll make a comeback in the future, just because I feel like what's cool now is gonna grow old then, and then in the future people are like, oh dude, that's so nostalgic, oh let's bring it back, or oh do you remember back in the day with this and this. Like nowadays you could probably sell Nintendos for like a higher price and people will be like, oh you still have one of those, like that's pretty sick, and people are gonna be like, yo let's play, or we'll like whip it out, blah blah. Like I think for sure in the future they're not gonna be gone. They're definitely gonna reduce now because everything's moved to digital, but I do think they can make a comeback. I don't know. I feel like I went on longer than I needed to about that. But what do you think, sir? What do you think, Aaron? You always come up with questions. What's your thoughts on this?
I loved Dimple, and even though I had, before we went there, when all the deals started and everything, even though I hadn't been there for a while, I still would go, occasionally, and it's a really nice, it's a really great place to be able to get, nostalgic games, back when they had Nintendo 64 games. They have, obviously, CDs, everything you can imagine, DVDs, still everything you can imagine. I mean, they have so much content there and so much stuff that I feel like that there's something there for everyone. And it's disappointing to see that they're going out because there's really not a replacement unless you go digital, which is obviously what has taken over so many other businesses when you look at stuff like Amazon and everything. But what I will say is that, Tower Records, which was another record store, went digital. All their stuff's online. I'm not sure what it's going to be like on that front for Dimple as well. But because of the popularity that has, and people do respect nostalgia, I feel like sometime down the road, maybe give it a couple of decades or so, we will see something like this resurge again, just for historical sake and for, the popularity of it. It's just really surprising to me to see that they actually had to shut their doors and this had to happen to them, because I feel like there are a lot of people that still do respect stuff like that. It's just that there's so many more people that would rather go digital.
Yeah. Do you think it'll take decades, dude? Do you think like we'll already be hitting retirement by the time it comes back?
No, I mean, well, what I'm saying is, obviously with the digital age, it didn't take too long for stuff to get really popular and for for Amazon to come about and all these other outlets as well that sell goods and sell products and services. But what I will say is I feel like that's going to take over for quite some time, but then people will eventually get tired of that and will eventually see a change. I'm not saying it's going to take like decades, like 30, 40 years. I'm saying it'll probably still take about 15, 20 years. That's my prediction.
Okay, yeah, I get you, dude. No, like now that I think about it, dude, I'm like really taking into consideration. Like Amazon kind of just blew up. Like I'm trying to think, like back in like the middle of high school, like were people really shopping on Amazon? Because I remember for sure, like once I hit college, I was already set with Amazon. Like I had a Prime subscription. People were already like, oh, get it on Amazon, get it on Amazon. Like now everybody just assumes that's the norm. They're not even like, oh, did you get it at Walmart? Did you get it at Target? Like everybody's like, oh, you got it on Amazon, on Amazon. On... Like I'm really thinking like, damn, dude, that thing blew up within like 5 years.
Well, and you mentioned about 5 years. I mean, it really did blow up in about 5 years' time because, like you mentioned it, I mean, people still talk about it, but it wasn't huge, back in, high school or whatever. But in 2015, things started blowing up. They surpassed Walmart as the most valuable retailer in the United States. 2017, they acquired Whole Foods, which is obviously a very popular place for people to go shop at.
Wait, Amazon acquired Whole Foods?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
Jeff Bezos, who is the founder of Amazon, obviously one of the top 5 most rich men in the world. I don't think he's number 1. Oh, yes, he is. Well, no, in 2017, he momentarily became the world's most wealthiest person. He has over $100 billion, actually over 150. But he is not the richest person in the world. He is one of the top 5, though. And it's pretty amazing, that has just taken over everything, and it probably will for the foreseeable future as well.
Dang, dude, no, I did not. I didn't know Amazon was like that. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Well, so everyone, we're still waiting for one of our good friends, Michael Gacone, who's going to be coming on here in a little bit, and we're going to be talking about some stuff with him. But before I end this part, well, I've still got about 2.5 minutes or so. I was scrolling across Twitter like you do on the average day, and I came across a story from my former the newspaper I formerly wrote for last year, the State Hornet. Do not write for them this semester. Just did not work out in my school schedule. However, I come across this story and I was just shocked. Sac State student dies following apparent seizure on campus. So his name was Devin Ryan DeVore. He was a first-year transfer student. He died after being rushed to the hospital following a seizure in front of Sequoia Hall on Wednesday. Let's see.
This Wednesday?
Yes.
Sorry. All right, wait, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. First responders arrived to the scene, performed CPR, according to a video posted to Wildfire, an app designed to keep students informed of important events happening on campus. Was then rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. Some people mentioned that he hit his face on the concrete. We heard him having trouble breathing. They took the backpack off of him, put him on the side so he wouldn't choke on any of his fluids, but apparently he did pass away. One thing that came across to me about this story, obviously, and I won't mention obviously certain circumstances on air out of respect, but this story does have relations to I know you because I know you're a person who for years has had to struggle with stuff like that. Obviously, you've gotten a lot better with stuff over the last decade, but just overall, after hearing that initially, Ricky, I just wanted to get what are your initial thoughts on that story, and what do you think could be better done as a person who has gone through stuff like that to better take care of people who go through these types of situations?
Oh, man, see, like this kind of like this subject hits home for me just because I'm like the only person that I've known that's ever really had epilepsy. But the thing is, my epilepsy has never been, deemed fatal, which I am very grateful for. But I will say, like as a kid, I had like 4 or like to 6 seizures. And then I was like on heavy doses of medication and whatnot. And then they went away for like a good 10 years. And then I think it was like the 3rd semester or 4th semester of Sac State when I was taking physics, and I was just staying up late, getting stressed out constantly. That like after finals week, sometime on the 3rd or 4th week of May, I had my first seizure after 10 years. and I didn't know what caused it. And then like I did some scans, and then they said like everything was normal.
I really
like,
hate
pretty
to
much-
interrupt you right there.
Oh,
But that
dude,
is the
you're
end
good.
of part one. We'll be right back with part two.
Oh,
Everyone.
you're good.